Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my July TBR. I am so excited for this month, guys. Last month I did lots of mood reading. I just kind of picked up whatever I was in the mood for, but focusing on like continuing series I'm in the middle of. So this month we are getting back to the roots of the TBR jar, and I am so beyond ready to have a structured TBR. Now I am going to be participating in Summerween, which is a horror/thriller readathon that Gabby Reads does. So I already did pick out my TBR for that readathon, so I'm going to show you guys those books, and then we're going to pick an additional 8 to 10 books from my TBR. We are going to be doing a mixture of what's left on my summer TBR cart and then whatever I want from my shelves based on the prompts that we get from the jar. So this is our beautiful little stack of the horror/thriller books that I'm going to try to get through in the Summerween Readathon. I have 2 books by T. Kingfisher that I picked off this list. I did try and go for more short books just because it's, I believe, 7 days, but I don't have a ton of time to read as I do have a full-time job, so I figured shorter books would make it more manageable and a little bit more realistic of what I can actually get through. We have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, which from my understanding it is more of a fantasy horror. I know basically nothing about this book, but I am very excited to get to it. And then I also have What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, which I've heard mixed reviews about this one, but nonetheless I'm very excited to get to it, and it is a whopping 157 pages, so I could fly through this. Next I have Woman Eating by Claire Coda, which is, from my understanding, a vampire serial killer-esque story. I believe it's told in a documentary type of style. Next I have These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall, and this is a boarding school young adult horror novel that I have been dying to pick up for so long. I have no clue how this is sat on my TBR shelf as long as it has, but no longer. I will hopefully get to it during the readathon. And then the last book that I'm going to try and pick up during the Summerween Readathon is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I believe this is more thriller leaning, but I do love Grady Hendrix. I've read a couple novels by him and I absolutely love them. So I'm very excited to get through this. And even then, I think this is one of the biggest books on the TBR. And it's still just over 300 pages. So I feel like in all, this is a very realistic stack to get through in 7 days. Some of these books I should be able to knock out in a couple days. Okay, on to our lovely TBR jar that has collected dust for the last month. We have Read a Book under 400 pages. No problem. I love short books, if I'm gonna be quite honest. Honestly, I've been very much in the mood for the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. I absolutely adore To All the Boys I Loved Before, and it's been a long time coming. I did start the TV show at one point, and then I just forgot about it. So I did want to come back and read the books first before going back and watching the rest of the show, and I feel like this is just going to be a really cute, lighthearted summer read, and it is so short. It is quite literally 270 pages. So very excited to read this, preferably by pool or on the beach. So this is going to be our first book for the TBR. Second pick, A Book with Sprayed Edges. Oh yes. Okay, so I already know exactly what I'm picking. So spoiler alert if you have not gotten your June Fairy Loot box, but I was so beyond happy to get Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is a book that I was absolutely devastated to not be able to buy because I'm currently in a book buying ban, but I have my subscription service and they did this book for the Adult June pick, and I'm so ready to read this. I love V.E. Schwab's writing. She just writes such whimsical stories. If you guys have not read The Archived by V.E. Schwab, that is the only book that I've read by her, but I absolutely adored it, and I've basically purchased almost every book she's written since. So it is about time that I get back into her novels, and I am very excited for this to be the one that I pick up next. From what I know about this one, it's basically toxic lesbian vampires. It follows 3 different characters throughout 3 different time frames, and I have no clue how they are woven together, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Third book. A book that's highly recommended. Ooh. Okay, so for a book that is highly recommended, I have two options that I'm looking at. I have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and I also have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Both I've very much wanted to get to this summer, so I don't know how I'm gonna pick between these two. From what I know, The Great Alone is a historical fiction novel that takes place in Alaska, and that's my general gist of it because I don't typically read the backs of books. And then Beach Read, I believe this follows two writers who end up having a love story, and that's what I know on this one. I know I had done a like books that I desperately want to get to before the end of summer, and out of all those, this was on there, so I feel like it would be so wrong of me to choose anything but this book. This is a 500-page book, so it's a hefty one, but we are going to go with The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. And maybe, who knows, we'll get another prompt to finally read Beach Read. Okay, so that's 3 books so far. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably do 8. A book you've owned for over a year. Well, that's not hard. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like I've been really good about getting to my older books recently. Okay, so for a book that I've owned over a year, I'm looking at Beach Read again, but I also have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, which I did start at one point and I got about 50 pages in. I was quite literally reading it at Universal Studios in the middle of waiting in line for a ride. And I don't know what happened. It was really interesting and then I put it down. So this is still sitting on my TBR. But honestly, since this is the second time I'm picking up Beach Read, I think we have to go with Beach Read by Emily Henry. This has been sitting on my TBR for way too long and I've heard so many good things about it. So this is going to be our 4th book. Okay, book number 5. Also, if you guys are wondering and you're a returning viewer, I did make a Kindle TBR prompt jar, but I'm not doing that this month just because I really want to get through my physical TBR. So we have to read a standalone, which I love because I feel like I don't get to read that many standalones. I feel like so many books are not standalones anymore. Okay, this is another one that's been on my TBR for so long, but we are going to do Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I have read nothing by this author, and to be honest, this is one of the few books that I've actually looked at by her. I remember when I first heard about it that it sounded really interesting to me and I thought it was going to be super cute, so we are going to have this be the 5th book for our TBR. I'm going to go through this really quickly because I'm currently watching my niece. She just got dropped off. I thought I had more time. So for our 6th book, we have A Book You're Scared to Read. I'm scared to read lots of books, particularly big books. I love how I said I was gonna look at my entire TBR, but I feel like I'm really just looking at the rest of my summer TBR. So I have a few books that I'm looking at for this prompt. We have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. The reason why I'm scared to read this is because I am so scared that I'm gonna hate this book. I've heard mixed things. Some people love it, some people hate it. So I have no clue where I'm going to fall in that spectrum. I read nothing by Carly Fortune. But honestly, I feel like I kind of want to save this since it says Meet Me at the Lake. I want to save it for a time where I can read it near some kind of lake. And I do have a trip coming up to Vermont by, I'm assuming, many lakes. I hope so. That's what it looks like. But I think I'm honestly going to save it for that, because I don't think it's going to be quite fall when I go, because it'll be the end of August. Let me know. Let me know what time the leaves start turning brown in the Northeast. But I think I am going to try and hold on to this book for that trip. I also have Happy Place by Emily Henry. So here's the thing with Emily Henry. I first got Book Lovers by her, which I did start. I got 50 pages in, and I don't know what it was about the characters that annoyed me so much. Maybe I just need to push through. Maybe they're supposed to be quite annoying in the beginning, but I am so scared to pick up another novel by her. But I've also heard so many good things. I did start the first 20 pages of this at one point, and I remember really liking it. I know it's a second chance romance between this couple who had recently broken up and they had to go to a friend's wedding, so they're in a sense second chance and fake dating in this book. So this is a possibility. And another book that has been quite controversial recently is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. And this is also a Fairy Loot edition book, which is absolutely beautiful. The artwork in these books are just so stunning. When I first got this and I read the inside, I was like, this sounds really interesting. Don't worry, I do read the inside of my Fairy Loot books. It says, when one makes a fairy bargain, one must be prepared to pay the price. And I just have no clue where I'm gonna fall when it comes to this book. There's a booktuber, What Emmy Reads, that I absolutely love watching, and she read this and she loved it, and I heard people saying that they very much did not love it. So I have no clue which one to read. Honestly, if I'm going based off of books that have been on my TBR longer, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick Happy Place by Emily Henry, just so I can finally get it off my TBR. That's so funny, we have 2 books by Emily Henry on my TBR for June. July. I meant July. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're gonna pick 2 more. Ooh, okay, we have a fluffy romance. Honestly, so this was on my like tentative mood reading TBR for last month and I did not get to it, and I absolutely love Abby Jimenez's writing and her characters. So I think this is just a no-brainer to add this. I want to get this read before fall starts because then I know I'm no longer going to want to read it. And I don't have the patience to wait until next summer to read this because I'm just so excited for it. So this is going to be our 7th book. And for our 8th, I did not remember this being in the prompts, but we have Read a Kindle Unlimited book. So do I just put this one back or do I try and pick a book that I know is on Kindle Unlimited? Honestly guys, I feel like for the sake of getting through my physical TBR, I am going to put this one to the side and I'll put it back in the jar at the end of this. So we're going to do a redo. Continue a series, another one that I wish I wouldn't have gotten, but we are going to stick to it, okay. So continuing a series, would it be counterproductive if I choose the second The Summer I Turned Pretty book? I have no series that I'm continuing from here, so I do have to look on my actual shelves. Ooh, okay. We're gonna pick some options. It's funny, I do have the last and final book that I need to read in the Twisted series by Anna Huang, but I do not own it, so I'm not going to pick it. I guess I also should have mentioned that I'm currently reading Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I am 56 pages into this one, so technically I could also choose Into the Dark, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so there are so many books that I could pick for this prompt, but I have it narrowed down to 2. I have The Darkest Temptation by Danielle Laurie, which would be completing the series. And if you guys have not heard me talk about it, this is a mafia romance series that I started, I believe it was last month, and I love it so much. It's so fun, and the books are so quick to get through. This book follows the MMC, and the second book, it's his brother, so I am very excited to get to this one. And then we also have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, which is the second book in, I believe it's called the Wicked Games series by her. And I know this follows the sister of the FMC in the first book, so I also have been wanting to pick up this, but I feel like this is more a fantasy book, no crap. I feel like this is more a fall and winter book for me. So I think I am going to go ahead and pick up The Darkest Temptation by Danielle Laurie. I've been wanting to finish the series literally since I finished the second book, but there's been so many books that have been catching my eye recently. So this is going to be our 8th and final book on our TBR for July. So this is a very hefty list, but to be fair, I am slowing down on my trips for the month of July just to have some time at home with my family and my animals. So this, I feel like, should be realistic for me to get through, and if not, it is what it is. We will find out. I think I'm going to do a end of summer wrap up instead of doing the monthly wrap ups, just because I haven't been getting through as many books as I would like recently. So we are going to see at the end of summer what I end up getting through this month, but I'm very excited about this entire TBR, and I hope I can get to all of these books in the month of July. Also, if you guys have read any of these books, especially any of these horror books, let me know in the comment section down below. This is going to be my first time actually being able to read during Summerween, so I am super excited for it. They do such fun prompt ideas for the reading challenges. And yeah, I'm super excited to just have a week to dedicate to reading some of my horror books because I have an entire horror shelf that has not been getting nearly enough love from me lately. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. 13 books. You know what? We're gonna make it happen.